All right. And we're live. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. Glad you are here. If you're just chiming in right now and you're in the chat, you're in the right place because this is the coolest place to be on Thursday nights, paraglidingtalk.com. Send an invite to somebody. Invite people to watch this show. Maybe you're catching the show after the fact. And that's okay too, because some people have to work and some people have other lives and some people are on the other side of the world right now and it's 3 a.m. But however you watch the show or however you're a part of the show, I want to encourage you to support the show on Patreon and PayPal. Keep this thing rolling. It's a lot of work. Everything that we see on these shows is going to be beneficial to you. You're going to learn stuff that might save your life, or you might just have the show going for someone else's life to be saved or spared. We're in a dangerous sport. So price of a cup of coffee, you can learn something that might change your life. Paraglidingtalk.com is a website if you want to find out some of the past episodes. We're also on Anchor. And if you go on Anchor, there's all kinds of other podcast platforms. You can find us on all of them now. It's amazing. The internet is amazing. This show is brought to you by PBG Smoke. PBGsmoke.com is the website. Go check them out. There's some fresh stuff coming off the line. There's these little micro flashers that you can just drop in your winglets. Pretty amazing little deals. Those are fresh off the cut. I saw him drop those on his Instagram. So go check out his website, pbgsmoke.com. Also, the show is brought to you by paramotorprops.com. If you have a paramotor and you blow up a prop and you want to get one quick, go to paramotorprops.com and you can order one right now. And they're good deals too. And they're awesome people. So I support them greatly. Show is also brought to you by Para Orange Products. Para Orange Products, Larry and Chris made all kinds of things to protect your gear, including prop covers, weatherproof motor covers. He's got some really great windsocks and poles. And I actually bought some stuff from them, and it's great quality stuff. Go check out their website, paraorange.com or paraorangeproducts.com. Also, I have to make a special announcement. We have a actual sponsor that is not a paragliding related sponsor. This is a plumbing company called American Allied Drains of Plumbing. If you're in the San Diego area and you're in need of plumbing, American Allied Drains of Plumbing is your company. If you mention paragliding, talk to them when you call them. You will get 10% off your services. The phone number, if you want to call them, 844-777-9055. That's American Allied Drains and Plumbing. Steve Nowak is with us tonight, all the way from sunny Southern California. Also in moderation, KC8R ORW is with us. Anthony Peregringo is with us. Sean Nafsker is in moderation, and the infamous Craig Taylor on the island of Nantucket is with us. And so we're going to have a great show tonight. Really appreciate everybody logging in, and especially Dr. Stephen Nowak. Thank you for joining us tonight on paraglidingtalk.com.
Always fun to join you guys.
Yeah. So I want to fire this show off with a question, and we're just going to get right into the guts. We want to go right for the throat, especially for the new listeners. Or new watchers or whatever you want to say. And by the way, if you have questions, tonight's your show. Drop your questions in the chat. The moderators will forward those questions on over. And I know we're going to get it warmed up in the beginning. I know you're thinking, I've already asked everything I want to ask, but I'm going to tell you something. Dr. Stephen Nowak is going to bring out the questions, guarantee it. So put your questions in the chat. And while you're talking, your name's going into the spinny wheel of Winnie things, and right about the half an hour mark, Sean Nafsker is going to spin the wheel, and you might just win something. Oh yeah,
maybe.
There's a good chance, and if you pay him, he'll rig it for you.
Maybe.
He might not.
Maybe.
Good point. Let's first talk about what is missing in paragliding and paramotoring instruction in 2021.
Oh man, what's missing in paragliding instruction?
Yeah,
that's a good question. I don't know, man. It's all over the place out there.
It's maybe the Wild West.
Some cohesiveness, a little more family, a little more community. That would be rad. I don't know.
I like that.
I don't know. I just try to worry about me, man. I see a lot of what's going on out there. I try to do what I can do. Try to raise the bar. I don't know. I see a low bar out there, at least in my little short vision range, right? I don't make it all around the world, but I see a lot of
Why do you think that is?
skipping steps,
Yeah, why do you
moving
think
to
that
hot
is?
gliders, like trying to be pro in a day. I don't know. I don't know. Why is that? I think it's ego. Nobody wants a beginner glider. I probably harp on the same stuff all the time.
Well,
You know,
let's talk about the instructor. Why would an instructor allow something like that?
I try to figure that out too. It's not like you're making a ton more money on the gear. Um, it's kind of easy to talk yourself into it. I totally get it. You look at a glider, it says beginner, intermediate. You're like, hey, that's me. I'm like, no, really, you're beginner. It's cool. Enjoy it. But I don't know. I see that. I see people wanting to start flying, right? If I'm telling you to stay on the training hill for an extra couple of days, you're like, man, maybe I can hire that other guy. I'm not trying to keep you from having a good time. I swear. I just want some solid fundamentals, right?
Right.
In the motoring, you can see the guys pin it to win it and just kind of get away with it, or teeter totter, or hopefully you get 100 flights and it really does start to make sense. But I'm not all into that get away with it for the first few. The luck and the experience bucket, all those analogies, yeah, that kind of stuff. That's what I see. I see a lot of people going out to thermaling right away. I get it. I totally get it. But I don't think it's changed. I don't know that that's like different for recent times. I think that goes as back as I just started trying to prone foil surf. I think that's how you call it. I'm such a noob. I don't even know what you call it. But I'm the noob, man. I'm the guy that doesn't know anything. I'm already like, ooh, look at that airfoil or hydrofoil, right? Look at that wing. What about this? Performance, aspect ratio, glide. I could pump it. Like, I'm that guy now. I totally get it. You were that guy. You were
when
like,
did you start doing it?
Myself, and then you could sign me off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all that guy. As much as we want to preach about it, we all kind of are that guy. So
this is my community punishment program for redeeming myself. That's why I have this show.
Try to bring in the new guys in a different way. Yeah, I see a lot of this. Dave Turner, champion, California record holder. Ben, remember when he was first starting, taught himself, came out here, all kind of, new.
I'm trying to get him on the show, by the way.
And then he gets up there and he's like, man, you really should find an instructor.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have listened to yourself back in the day.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Yep.
But I don't know. That's what it is. I try to help people.
Do you know Dave Turner, by the way?
Just in passing, he would come and fly. If I see him, we're gonna say hi and recognize each other, but I don't like call him on the weekend or anything.
Yeah. Okay. I need to try to get a hold of that guy. He's been dodging me on Facebook, so I need to. I'm trying to get him on the show.
It's a miscommunication. Nobody's dodging. Yeah.
That's right. Miscommunication. I've got a few angles on him right now, so we'll see. We'll get him eventually, but he's a character.
Heck yeah.
So I would argue that some of the instructors just don't have the goal to say no. And what I noticed with you was that you weren't afraid to say no. Somebody comes to you for instruction. It's like, hey, I don't care if it makes you feel warm and fuzzy. What I'm telling you is something that's going to make you enjoy this sport for the long haul. This is not a short thing. Part of the thought is that people come into the sport, they're so excited and the energy is so good. You hit the instructor and it's like, oh, you're a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
And I can say that for me, there was like a fire blazing in a direction and I needed someone to say, hey bro, chill. Even though I passed the test with Stephen Nowak, he was like, okay, now that you've passed the test, I want to go over every question and ask you why you answered that question that way. And it wasn't, I wasn't going to get away with it.
It's a tough sell. There's always somebody who'll take your money and give you a rating and stroke your little ego. And you think you're better than average. Everybody thinks they're better than average. I totally get it. But it is what it is, I'm just looking for good stuff. The good thing is, man, recently I had somebody go with another instructor, right, for months and months and months, maybe 6-7 months. And there's a lot of politics and everything that goes around. I try to stay out of it. But I let actions speak louder than words. And next thing you know, they came over and hired me. And they're like, been out there for 6 months. They said, man, I seen how you are with your guys. You're really spending all this time, and I want to know that stuff. I want to know. So they came over. I thought that was pretty telling. Couldn't ask for a better compliment, really. I mean,
That's
it goes
pretty
the other
rad.
way too, right? I have other people going elsewhere, mostly because I'm holding them back, maybe, but not trying to. Or my people land and they look all clean. They look rad. They launch first try, every try with good fundamentals, right? Staying heavy and not, all over the place. So that's my claim to fame. See how my fledglings look better than average. Be good, not getting away with it.
How many of your guys come back after they've got a P3? Does anybody in the higher echelon coming back and saying, "Hey, I want to get a little more training on that, maybe acro or stuff, something like that"? I mean, how
Yeah,
much?
usually in that kind of stuff, people getting ready to go, like are doing their SIV clinics or whatever, or want to go tandem cross country, things like that. Yeah, I have an Acro tandem wing now. It's really fun, but I really don't take very many people with it. But it's right. I know you got a chance to get a little jiggy with Max. Yeah,
Yes, I did.
yeah.
It was pretty
Nah,
amazing.
cross country too. People. I've never been over here before. I didn't know you
Oh,
could do that. It's like, oh, yeah, this is how we do it.
yeah. So talk a little bit about that. It's an acro tandem wing. It's flies a little faster, probably doesn't have the greatest glide ratio, but you can
It's
probably go better than driving the old school bus tandems.
it's 31 meters. So yeah,
Huh.
one of my friends has a 25, and you put 6 more meters and put another overfed man on it. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's like speed flying.
Yeah, yeah, it's a rocket.
I saw a
I don't do
video.
much, but yeah.
I saw a video this week of a guy running off the hill with a speed wing with two people. I didn't know
Yeah,
you could do that.
yeah, pretty heavy duty.
Talk a little bit about what's going on in the tandem world that now we've this is a normal thing. Is this where we're headed?
Well, speed flag's not normal, right?
Speed flying is definitely not normal. Tandem speed flying is really unusual. I've never heard of it. I didn't think it existed.
Yeah, wing loading, man. Wing loading. That's your friend. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. Lift and drag, increase to the square of the speed. So if you understand the math and science, you can make it work.
That's one thing that I really when I have you come on the show, you don't really give up all the goods.
I try to.
His,
I give
his
everything away, man.
Okay, so his whiteboard marker analogies and whiteboard stuff is incredible. So I'm not just saying that because I went through school and I'm not a school person, but I was in it, man. The the drawings, I feel like we need to have a whiteboard in the background for Steve to
I
like.
had it, but I had a vent in the back and it was really distracting. But I did have the whiteboard going just a minute ago.
Oh, you
It's
did.
in the
Nice.
kitchen. I'm always there. If I think up something, I'm like, wait a minute. My drawings are crude, but the concepts come out.
Yeah. Yeah. So missing an instruction, obviously there's a handful of things that I now knowing I'm coming up on we're 4 years now.
Wow.
I'm interested in taking to the next level, maybe getting a tandem certification when I hit 5 years.
Nice.
I like the idea of being able to take some homies and friends and family or whatever and just go send it every once in a while. What is your feeling about giving someone a tandem rating? And are you tandem rated, certified to sign people off?
No, I'm not a
Oh,
tandem admin or instructor
okay.
admin. And because of this, I want to know how you are, man. I want to see those skills on the regular, not a January sledder and go, hey, man, can I get my P4? Can I get my check off? Can I get my tandem rating? I don't know you. Like, I want to know where people are for real. And that's hard to do. It's hard to assess if you're not like my student from the beginning. Even
Or
if you're
if you're
from
flying with them.
elsewhere, and then I don't know what you do or don't know, your pre-flights, your checks, how meticulous you are about whatever. I don't know. I'm picky. I'm really picky that way. I really am. I'm sorry. But so I don't it's a lot of responsibility, I think. I love tandem, man, especially like cross country tandem or really any tandem. For us, we're like, oh, slider or short flight or this or that. But people are just mesmerized. They can't believe their feet left the ground. And to
Yeah.
be part of that, to share the magic, that's so rad. And then cross country, you're getting really low. You're like, we might have to land in those trees over there. Like, I'm just going through a backup plan. So, that side of that highway is looking kind of appetizing right now. As much as I don't like that, I just saw a hang glider get munched by a car landing on the road. That was pretty gnarly in a video. But nonetheless,
Oh,
yeah, I'm always looking at it. I'm just like, hey, that. Even with Yana, she's like, I don't want to hear that. I'm like, I'm just telling you, I got a plan B, I got a plan C. They're not pretty, but we'll probably survive. We'll have a story to tell.
no.
It could be a broken leg, but if we survive, I'm gonna call it a bonus. I'm just saying, we got a backup plan.
I got a kick out of that picture that she took with you guys, and
Oh,
that
man.
airplane was close, and you were like, "Oh my gosh!" And she's like,
Yeah, that was a crazy moment. There's
I
cloud
use that
clearance
as a thumbnail.
requirements for a reason.
Yeah,
Right, 500 from the bottom.
yeah, yeah. How's your flying been? Have you been getting some airtime? I know you guys moved to Crestline. Oh, by the way, I was right by your house for a couple
Oh, yeah.
days, but you were out
Yeah.
of town.
Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we kind of stay back and forth. We do like her parents are staying up there and she doesn't want to live with her parents per se. So we do both locations
Nice.
back and forth.
Aaron just
Yeah, I've been
asked
getting
me.
some flying in, man. I've been having fun with some little spinneroonies and twisteroonies and yeah, I've been having a good time.
What's your latest thing that you're working on? Because you're always working on something.
I'm really not. I basically do the same thing over and over. But yeah, little misty heli connections. Like, I
Okay.
don't know, the negative world. I played in the dynamic kind of tumbly stuff for so long, and I don't do most of what the young kids are doing these days. But yeah, I've been having fun with seeing the wings spin kind of with a background of Earth behind it. That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to spin over the top, but it's another thing to look down at it. And I don't know, it's such a cool feeling when it just connects right into a nice helicopter, fixing wobble copters, and it just finally clicked through where most of them work. It's not a 1 out of 3, 1 out of 5, or like a here and there kind of thing. I don't know.
Nice.
Did you
Yeah.
learn sets? Did you ever do sets?
Yes. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
sense.
So did you ever mess one up in the beginning? Like, did
What do you
you
mean?
hold too much on the
Coconut?
first one? Yeah, kind of coconut it or whatever.
I haven't, not yet.
Or did you underdo it and kind of just go to a nose down spiral and go, well, that wasn't quite it?
Just
And then you
wind up really hard. No, I went to the SIV with Max and I did a couple there. Like I think I did about 4 or 5 of them there. And then I've been practicing at Blossom.
Yeah, once you feel it, once you have that aha moment, then you'll never do it wrong again.
Yeah.
Even if you did kind of underdo it, overdo it the first time, once you get it, it becomes an every try trick, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And helis were not that for me. Helis were not an every try trick for a long time. And it's
okay, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're doing this with 2 reserves.
3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I have base plus 2. I have the cutaway, a square, and a round.
I didn't realize you're flying with the cutaway all the time. How does that comfort wise? Does it feel like is it unusual or you're just totally normal now?
Yeah, it's super rad. It's a bucket seat. It's one of the most comfortable harnesses. It's and it's a single step operation, right? What's your operation? What's the first step in throwing your parachute, guys? Look for the handle.
Yeah.
I know you're all gonna say it, but yeah, look for the handle, grab the handle, pull the handle, look for clean air, throw to clean air, maybe pull your bridle, maybe disable your main, all the little things you got to do, right? But what do? Pop, look for my new brake toggles. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's not an easy sequence. I'm not, man, I love it. I love it.
Those old brake toggles are
right there. You're not even looking. It's just pow. I mean, yeah.
Do you ever do it on purpose?
Oh yeah, most of them are.
I'm gonna cut away today. And
testing, research and development. No.
Yeah. And your cutaways, typically you're having to fetch your glider and it's all tangled up and twisted up and all in a bush somewhere.
No, if you're gonna do it recreationally, dare I say, testing, research, safety, just go upwind a little bit.
Wow.
I say I'm no Nostradamus, but I can often see the future. Like, gee,
Yeah.
if I cut away here, where's it gonna go?
It's gonna go somewhere.
That's
Yeah.
gonna go there. And so yeah, I've had it hit the cone before.
Oh, really? How close have you got on the grass?
Right on the cone.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm
That's
not
like a
every
whole
time.
new game.
I've done it once before. Yeah, exactly. Only a few of us play that game.
That's a pretty fun game.
It
Okay,
is.
so I have to Will Fly donated $5 to the super chat. Yana donated $10 to the super chat.
She's the best.
Is she right there?
No.
Okay. And then Crazy Uncle Bob donated $5 to the super chat. Thank you, kind people. That is super cool. Will Fly said Resurgence PBG rocks. And Crazy Uncle Bob said, greeting fellow deplorable infidel flying squirrels. Yeah. Crazy Uncle Bob's a trucker. He's delivering your stuff right now. So if you're wondering where it's at, it's on his truck.
Just remember that when you're wiping your rear, that crazy Uncle Bob delivered that toilet paper
Yep.
to you.
And also Sean now works for Amazon. So if you have any questions where your package might be from Amazon,
yeah, they'll be blasting you like that. No,
you can just ask him in the chat. He'll find it for you. So let's talk a little bit about gear. And I know we got some questions from the chat. We'll get to those in a second. Let's talk about older gear. Now, we recently had a guy come from Northern California, and I'm not sure what was going on in his mind, but he decided that he was going to come and he was going to fly Blossom with very little or if no sight brief. Had a bunch of precursor signs to not fly that day. There were some OG pilots that were on the ground waiting for things to kind of settle down before they were going to send it. And these are guys that have flown, broke records. There was like 5 or 6 of them. It was going to be a good day. They knew that. We're looking at like 3:15, 3:30-ish, and they're getting their gear out of the vehicles and then just sitting there with, putting a finger in the air. He ended up launching against some other guys notice and said, hey, look, actually it was one John Heine, the old school looping record holder. Yeah. On hang gliders. And he stopped him and said, he's very humble and very quiet. And he just said, hey bro, you should probably wait. It's really spicy right now. And
what does he know? He flies hang gliders.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know anything, right? Well, so he got his wing out, got dragged across launch 2 or 3 times. And that's why Heine stepped up and said, hey, bro, first of all, you're launching from up here. It's super windy. Down there is why they're launching from down there. And part of it is they're lazy, but they're not launching yet for a reason. And he still, he looked like everything was cool. And he told John Heine, like, oh, okay, thanks for the heads up. And then when John was putting his stuff together, turned around, the guy was launched. He was in the air. And so it was kind of like, okay, whatever. Well, anyways, he ended up flying into the lee side of Amen Ridge. I don't know if you know Blossom very well, but he flew into the lee side of Amen Ridge and succumbed to his injuries after taking a collapse in a cascade event. So he was on older gear. And I keep hearing these conversations. Tell me your thoughts about older gear. And I do want to talk a little bit about that conversation that I hear all the time that comes up and says, hey, does anybody have an old glider for kiting only? And I hear more and more people are still trying to send it on those older gliders. Talk about older gear.
Yeah, it's kind of gnarly. I mean, I made $6 an hour when I got into the sport. So I was really looking to save $1. And I flew RC airplanes and helicopters, and I learned things fairly quick. And I thought, this is no problem. And I wanted a hotter glider. And I wasn't going to be able to buy a second glider after my first glider. All the ways you could talk yourself into saving $1 or whatever. And then you're looking for used gear, and guy will tell you this is good for beginner. I've seen people try to pass off pretty hot gliders as good for beginner. And really, really ragged out gliders, like super ragged out. And I'm not a big fan. I ended up buying a brand new glider and I bought an A glider. And then when I started teaching, my instructor came back and says, man, remember when you wanted a hotter glider and you wanted to save $1, get it used, this, that, and the other? It's like, I want you to remember that with your students going forward, right? And this is a decade ago, but man, point taken. He's like, look at you now. You're doing everything. You didn't quit. You didn't give up. You didn't sell everything. Man, point taken. So that's why I'm, still a big fan of super beginner gliders. But old gliders, man, here's the deal. I don't know if it's the deal, but I remember somebody explained to me that if a glider costs $3,000 and you get 300 hours, it's $10 an hour.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's a little more money and a little more hours, so maybe it evens out, but it's easy math, right? So if you get a used glider for $1,500, hey, that's a lot less than 3,000. So I'm saving some money. But if it has 150 hours, you still only have 150 left. It's still $10 an hour, but you're getting kind of the ragged out end of the deal. The other thing is, you sell a glider, nobody wants to say my glider has 150 hours on it, right? So often it has 40 hours.
Yeah.
I'm giving this speech to my students. They go, man, I just found a glider that has 40 hours. I know, I'm not making this up. It really happens. So, the one I'm looking at now, I know. So you can't sell your glider and say it has 5 hours. You're going to open it and go, this is more than 5 hours. And you don't want to admit to having 100 and 150 hours. So a lot of gliders approximate 40 hours, 50 hours, whatever. I don't like it. It just seems to be how it works. Man, a responsible owner is going to take a knife to that thing, right? Not try to sell some glider that's all cheesed out, get a couple $100. Yeah, kiting only. That is a noble cause if you're really only kiting it. But man, it's a slippery slope when you're all air horny. You want to get up and you're getting better. And I think I got this. Recently, I've seen a lot of conversation about line trimming, right? These are gliders not even that old. These guys are racing their gliders and they're checking and go, this thing's all out of spec. This thing's out of trim. What are the chances your 200-hour glider is anywhere near where it's supposed to be? It's probably not, right?
Right.
And new lines are $500. So it's not so easy to just go get new lines. And who's going to put new lines on a glider that only has 10 hours? It doesn't make any sense. So there's a lot of pitfalls. There's a lot of tricks looking at used gliders. I tell my students, hey, man, if you find something, let me know. Just because they say it's good for a beginner, I'll tell you my opinion, take it or leave it. And depending on what it is, if it's in the appropriate weight range, a little tongue tied there, but all these kinds of things, right? People don't understand that it's you plus all your gear and that you really want to be at the top end of the weight range. They think, hey, it's 80 to 100 kilos and I'm 81. I'm in the range. Yeah, but I don't really like it. Sometimes I do like that. You have a senior citizen needs a nice little, slow takeoff, can't really sprint all that much. Maybe that's appropriate, but
yeah.
And they're only going to come out as sled rides and no real, need for speed.
Good point. I've never heard that. That's a good point. I've never heard of the idea of getting a lighter, being lighter on a glider because you don't want to run faster and you want a softer landing.
It's not great. I don't like it. I think speed gives you softer landings, but tell that to a 76-year-old guy who jams his hip backwards every time he lands, right?
Right.
And I'm like, hey, man, maybe a nice little Sully on the Hudson landing is for you, not trying to Tinkerbell your toes every time when it looks really bad.
Sully on the Hudson.
Hey, there's context to everything. I'm not a big fan of taking it to the butt. I'm not judging. I'm just saying. But in paragliding, it's a good way to hurt your back anyway.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes that's the right call. A downwind, a senior citizen. Hey, let's try this. Pull up your feet. We're gonna grease it in.
How many guys are coming in that are over 50?
Man, quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah. There's a pretty strong contingency.
And you think it's maybe just guys are coming through that age where they realize, like, you know what, I didn't do as much as I needed to when I was younger. Let's let this rip. Life's almost over.
Man, the kids are out of the house, empty nest. They have disposable income and time to do it.
Yeah.
Right. They had that boat locked up out in the yard on the dock all year, but never used it, whatever. But now there's something they can do and they can fly. Like you really can fly. How insane is that we
Yeah.
fly?
Like a bird, man. Just
I mean,
on the wind.
At will.
Yeah.
can Robert come out and play today? Like, that's just so magical.
Yeah. No
And
doubt.
and why not? It's so appropriate. One of these hang glider pilots got into paragliding, and all the hang gliders are kind of giving him a hard time. And he goes, guys, it's a really good retirement wing. A topless hang glider, 90 pounds, hucking that, lugging it down to the launch and across the landing zone. That's an exercise in itself. And now we just kind of unfurl our wings and take off while people are stuffing battens.
Yeah, that's my buddy in Carl. His name is Carl in Colorado. He just posted one, did a sled ride, but it was about the hike. And they did this big gnarly hike and then they just flew down.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I have that. It's like 6.5 pounds with the reserve.
That's light.
Single surface with a little F-Light harness and a little pro parachute. And I can get to regionals in 43 minutes. I know it's been a while, but maybe you remember. Yeah, it's just below Marshall kind of.
Wow. Yeah. 45 minutes?
43, man. You're trying to add on time to my.
That is really fast. That is super high.
Yeah. I'm moving, not stopping.
Yeah. Well, that's right. You've been on kind of a workout kick. Let's give some stuff away, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll give away some AMSOIL. By the way, if you're not getting your AMSOIL quick, I noticed that the shipments are taking longer and longer. It's not my fault.
So no more names allowed in the wheel.
Yeah, no more names.
I'm done taking names now. So let me see here. Let me see how I can get this thing fixed.
Yeah,
here.
I'm going to spotlight you. Yep.
Hang on here.
Make sure it's the right way.
Yeah, I gotta turn this thing around.
Got one
technology.
Job,
it's a help. It's a help and a hindrance. Hey, I did my job. I did it really good too.
I'm just.
I know. I got off work before the show, so I'm pretty mentally.
I'm proud of you for getting a job, Sean. Exhausted. You're becoming a productive American.
Yeah. I'm proud of me too. I'm so proud of me. My body hurts.
Oh, good. I'm glad I see my name in there. That's good. That's really important.
Are you ready?
Yes. Spin the wheel.
The wheel is spinning, y'all.
All right. By the way, the spin of this wheel is brought to you by Calamity Kite Clinic. If you want to get some training, ground handling, maybe you're a paramotor pilot, maybe you're a free flight pilot, but you want to be better on the ground, reach out to Sean Nafsker. Sean Nafsker. The website is calamityKiteClinic.com. It's actually an amazing thing when you know how to kite your wing. Even if you're not a great pilot, but you know how to kite your wing good, everyone will think you're amazing.
And you will be.
And you will be. That's right. All right. I'm going to bet on Brian Myers. Let's go. Go. Oh, it might be a Justin T. Meyer. Dustin T. Meyer is such a champ.
I don't know. It might be. It could be G-Zer too. Greaser or something maybe. I don't know.
Oh, it's so close.
I know it. It's
T.
like
Meyer. Dustin T. Meyer. I called it. No, I didn't really call it.
Congratulations, Dustin T. Meyer. You are a winner.
Dustin T. Meyer, if you will, please reach out to me at paraglidingtalk.com and send me your information. I know that you sent me your information before because I think I sent you something, but please do it again. So go to the website, go to the contact section, and send me your information where I can send you some AMSOIL. So thank you for being a watcher of the show. Hot Buttered Steve donated $10 to the super chat. He said, Roberto Michelle, I say, yea, squire, thou shalt master the dark art of tandem speed flying, lest ye shall surely perish. Nice. I like that. I'm in the King James version. So
did he actually spell yay or was it like ye?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Y-E. I'm proud. I'm proud of his abilities to speak in the old King James version. Pretty amazing. So, amazing group of people.
If I could go back real quick.
Yes, please.
Used gear. I think a good place to save some money, maybe a harness and a parachute, right? That's a thing that could work. Oh, dang. Something cramping up. Too much paddling. I got beat up out there. I think harnesses and parachutes, right? They last a really, really, really long time. Most people have never thrown the parachute, provided it's a decent quality and it's not super, super old. I have some that I'll only use for maybe a washing machine off a bridge or something. I'm not going to give to anybody, but it's got to be something good for a shade structure, I guess.
Something.
Anyway, paragliders, I'm a little scary of older gliders, but they do happen. Hey, this guy that pounded in, passed away. I'm not with us anymore. It sucks. I watched a video of him launching, I guess was posted, right? And they showed like the first half of the flight. I didn't see the rest. I don't care to. But I went back and looked at this guy's profile and I saw some other videos of him flying around. And he launches a sight, and one of his lines on his I believe they're A lines. It's been a while now. But you can see in the video, the lines are not lined up. They're going to the wrong spot on the Mayan, whatever language you want to speak.
Yeah.
Little metal link that connects your risers and your lines. Man, they were not lined up. You could tell these had been taken off and put back on. And
no kidding.
Wrong. Now, it's probably within a millimeter of the length it's supposed to be. It's not totally a critical mistake, but seeing as that we know how this guy's play ended, it kind of sets the stage. A lot of maybe missteps and kind of shortcuts and the lack of taking it all that seriously. Like paragliding is pretty dang easy. Almost anybody can do it, really. But if you don't know what you're doing, there's some really easy mistakes to make. There's some really counterintuitive things, you might want to slow down to avoid an accident instead of speed up kind of thing, like flying into the lee side. It just looks like a lot of steps were taken. I don't know if this guy taught himself or got professional coaching or what. It doesn't look like it. But man,
I heard he got fired.
Misconfigured gear. Oh yeah. As a student.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that happens. Yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Misconfigured gear. That's a critical thing.
With the lines, it's a sign of maybe not having it all together. I don't know.
Well, I'll say that I know that I've been in predicaments where I'm on launch. I fumbled the last time I flew my glider and ended up in a bush, and I packed it up, balled it up, shoved it in my bag, and then hiked up the hill and then went home mad and sweaty. And the next time I pulled it out, the wind was blowing and it was time to fly, but my glider wasn't ready to fly. And I had to take a malleon apart and push the rubber band back and move it back and fix it on launch. And that is terrifying. Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. You should not be doing that.
Okay. So do you have a system for taking your tangles out?
I did not at that time. I was brand new.
Do you have like a little system you could just spit out real quick?
So I have literally at this point have not had the situation since.
Yeah, that's pretty rare. So just recently, man, a few days ago, I was out there, 5 guys, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't know. They're working on this gear, right? Everybody's held up trying to go up in the buggy. And I really didn't want to jump in the metal, but hey, would you like me to finish this up? Because they did a lot of the work, I'm sure, but would you like me to finish this within the minute? And I'm like, fine, gave it to me, and bloop, bloop, there you go. And I'm like, so yeah, and they were still not really applying the system, and that's why I asked.
So yeah, talk about that. I have helped out probably 20 people on Launch at Blossom. It happens all the time.
What do you do when you have a tangle? What's your go-to move? You're looking for your A's, you're looking for your, what are you doing?
My go-to usually is to find the problem and, obviously isolate one riser. I start with let's just focus on one. So we pull the glider up. If you can build a wall with it, that's a really big step. That really helps. But if you don't have any wind, if you don't have any wind, which is usually the case, and it's been in some bushes and you got another guy pulling sticks out of it or something like that, I will isolate that riser, and then I'll isolate the A's, B's, C's, and just take a look. I'll pull them taut and just take a look down. And usually I can run my hand down until I find where the problem is. If it's just a simple, step through or something like that.
All right. So if you don't already know, I'll give you the punchline, but then I'll back up just a track because I believe you remember the first thing and forget all the metal stuff, but whatever. It's outside A from the canopy. But outside A from the canopy, that's the secret, right? If you're not already using that, that saves a lot of time. I see a lot of people have never heard of this, so that's
Okay,
why
yeah.
you said I don't give away all my secrets. No, seriously, there you go. It's a big one, but it's not a secret. So if you're not already doing it, man, it's amazing when you get the really tough one. Now, here's what you do first. Get your toggles fixed, right? If your toggles are all up through either riser, it's never going to look appropriate. And the toggle's not tight on one end, so you can chase it through any kind of redness for the most part. Get your toggles clean to the pulley. That's always what I'm doing every time before I launch too.
Yep.
Then
Same.
you're going to separate left and right, get them independent of each other. Right? I'm trying to find the tunnel that the left and right, obviously. But once you have one riser isolated to itself and not entangled in the other one, you start at the outside A from the canopy. A lot of people want to stay on the risers and look at those A's, but sometimes those A's will kind of fork and go opposite directions. If all three are going through one little tunnel, that's really easy. Hey, let's snake that through and we're good. And that's usually the case. That's why, never find the really bad one. But every once in a while you go, oh, I haven't seen this one in 15 years. It's really bad,
Yeah.
But you start from the outside A. Sometimes it looks like you're making it worse. Like I'm doing it, people go, there's no way that's how it got there. And that's how it's got fixed, right? But snake the whole riser, the brakes, the toggles, the everything through and get that one outside A on top. Take a step back and look at it, and you're probably 3 seconds from done. It's probably a flip flop and you're out of there. Just once you have the A on top, always keep it on top, right? And then the rest just becomes readily apparent at that point. I mean, man, I have it. So I take these risers sometimes when I'm doing it with people, and I just throw the riser through the lines and grab it and whip it. And people are like, hey. So I'm doing it with my own glider most of the time, but I'm like, man, I might have really done it this time. But it always just comes out so friggin' fast. Now I've seen this German, they call him, I don't know, doctor or whatever, but he's has like a Transylvania type accent or something. And he has a really wicked system that I haven't quite digested, but he swears by that one as well. But for me, outside A from the canopy.
So from the canopy, follow it back. And
then
find
your outside A. That's already on top. It has to be on top. I've never seen it tangle that far up there.
Yeah.
And then you follow it down to where it becomes a snafu. And you just, if it's a real tight rat nest, you're going to loosen it up a little bit so you can get all the A's and B's and C's if you got them. And then your toggle and get it all out there. And then while you're looking at it, it just becomes readily apparent. I swear, you hold that one up and you flip her a B or a C or something, you're done. If you get that outside A on top, you're done.
Interesting.
Try it out, man. You can challenge your
friends.
You can do it. Do it on purpose. It's cool.
I'm gonna
Carlo
definitely
showed me that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an awesome trick too. He's flipping it around. I'm like, okay, well, no taken,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. You wouldn't really come up with that on your own. Like, I gotta be shown that one, And then but man, it's cool when there's 10, 15 people working on a system forever and you just walk up, oh yeah, we got it ready for you. Well, but you didn't even have a system.
Yeah. Bust it out. Nice. I didn't know that. See, every single show I get something.
Little trick.
That's a good one. Yeah,
here's a dumb one too. I'm going to totally derail everything, but this is probably not even worth mentioning, but I was blown away that it took me 15 years to figure it out. I just watched somebody and went, why did I not ever do that? So I almost never disconnect my harness from my glider, right?
Same.
I can see how you can argue both ways. You want to check it, but if it's really windy, I don't want to open the whole canopy to the wind and then try to be hooking up my speed bar, and then that's just too much time in the danger zone. Yeah. So if I know it's good, I can open it for the most part. I can see what I need to see to build my confidence, the line overs and stuff, and then I can just bring it up and go first try. But every time I'm folding it up, I kind of run into an issue about not folding it up from the trailing edge to the leading edge. So I got my harness out there. So I've just been accordion folding it and then taking the lines out from up by the top by my leading edge. Does that make sense? Normally I have my harness and then my whole glider laid out in front of me.
Right.
Once I get it to that long, skinny sleeping bag kind of concertina shape, then I'll just pick up my harness and move it right outside of the leading edge. I can go back to my trailing edge, push all the air to the front, tuck in my leading edge, and I'm there. I'm done. It's just I used to just hold it from the leading edge to the trailing edge, knowing I'm trapping some more air in there, and it kind of sucks, but it's connected. Well, now I got the best of both worlds, and it's the dumbest little thing, but I don't know why it took me so long. If you're not already doing it, it's a cool one.
So one more time, I'm tracking, but I want to just make sure because I want to try this. So you take your leading edge like you do, fold everything up together.
Yeah, I do my
Plop it on the
trailing
ground.
edge, I do my leading edge. I got it long and skinny.
Okay.
And then instead of having the lines go to the harness right out the trailing edge,
Right.
just pick up the harness and set it up next to the leading edge, like right up next to the side. So instead of lines coming out the tail, I got the lines just coming right out the middle of the glider. Then I could fold the trailing edge forward because there's no harness there. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's all laid out way up there. I roll right up to the leading edge. I tuck the leading edge in. I put the rest of the glider on top, and my harness is right next to me.
Done.
It's the silliest little thing. I should draw it on the whiteboard, but
yeah. Yeah.
Stupid little thing that I've just been happy about lately. I don't know. I get excited over dumb stuff.
Skylar Costa, he said, possible question for Stephen. Can you discuss what are some of the things that you should look at on your glider for signs of wear?
Oh man, if you're questioning it, it might be time for a new glider. If you're really like, I don't know, it's been a few years, but it looks good. I don't know. You can look under the A lines and see how smashed and black they are. They're all flattened out on the A where it's wrapped around the malon, say it how you want. If it's all black and shiny in there, like you're buying a used glider that only has 5 hours, but those things are super smashed. I'm kind of looking at the fading of it. Really, that center porosity, if you have access to a porosimeter, but that doesn't really matter all that much. It's more the trim. The inflation behavior, it's kind of a frog soup thing, where you don't notice it happening. But remember when you got your last brand new glider and it wanted to shoot past you, but it doesn't seem to do that anymore?
Right.
And maybe you got off the A's and it starts to fall back. And you're like, no, I just give it a little more A's and keep running. It's good. Like, here's your sign. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little things. One time I didn't know. I totally fell victim. I had a sea glider and I wasn't making it out from crestline to the landing zone. So there's like a couple mile there if you guys haven't flown there. And it's a sea glider. Even A gliders make it. But man, I landed out short in the little bailout like 3 times. I'm like, I think I need to get rid of this glider. It was probably a trim thing, but yeah, I was doing a lot of like G's on this. Wasn't really built for it, but it was all stretched out. And then that takes me to what you're saying earlier. That's actually really interesting. So this guy says, hey, I want to put 100-foot lines on it and make it for kite surfing or kiteboarding. I'm going to have the world's longest kiteboarding jump. I'm going to jump up to the side of the hill and ridge shore it or whatever. But I just want to practice just for kiting. I swear I'll never fly that glider. So man, this thing belongs in the dump, right? I should take a knife to it. I don't even want to give it to you for kiting. Next day, homie's trying to launch off Marshall with it. He got airborne and went parachutal like 10 feet off the deck. He just got airborne, went parachutal and plopped him right back on the ground again. I said, bro, you went. And the thing was funny was he went overboard the evening before, how he swears he'll never fly it. I'll never fly it. I know it's too dangerous to fly. I'll never fly it. I'm like, hey, A, it's a sea glider. You probably shouldn't be on it. And B, it's all ragged out, man. It does not belong in the air.
So he put 100-foot lines on this thing?
No. That's what he told me he wanted to do.
Okay.
He says, I'm not going to fly it. I'm going to turn it into a kiteboarding kite. I'm going to do the world's longest. He gave me this big spiel about why he wants this glider. I said, no, I'll never fly it. I'll never fly it. I swear I'll never fly it. Not even 24 hours, man. He's
and the sad thing is, he probably wasn't trying to fly it. It probably just plucked him and chucked him. And he was like,
He was on a mission.
This guy, he swore he went up and down about, I swear I'll never, ever. And I know I will never, ever, ever. And then he went so overboard. I mean, man, I think he is going to.
So,
I would have believed it the first time.
We're like we're dabbling in the chemical industry. People don't like to think of it like that, but we are working in the chemical industry, and you talk to a drug addict and you're going to find a lot of similarities in a paragliding addict. So yeah, it's amazing what people do for some crack. Same thing happens.
It really
you got any wings?
You got any of those wings?
I just need a wing. You got a wing?
You got one of those wings? I swear it's just for kiting.
How about a harness? You got a harness over there?
I don't even need a reserve. Yeah. I've been there, bro. I'm a recovering.
It's really tough. Like, what do you tell somebody if they was like, hey, how do we slow this down? I'm like, I don't know. It just keeps happening. And that's what I say. The last guy to die in the sport hasn't died yet, right? If archaeologists go, who's the last nutter to go die in, paraglide? Who would think that was a good idea? And it's like, that guy's probably not even born yet, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
right, it's just, and it keep happening. I go onto the Oz report, which is a large hang gliding kind of website or whatever, but they have the bottom like 5 auto-filling, searching. I don't know. I'm not real tech savvy, but like big headlines that have hang glider or paraglider kind of auto-populate this little field in the bottom of the 5 like media things.
right.
And it's always accident, fatality. And it's worldwide, so it's not just your little community.
Right.
But man, you see it. It's just like, man, homie just died here, there, and the other, and it just never stops. And I wrote that little safety article. I said, man, every January, I wonder how long is it going to be before we get the first fatality of the year? Like, are we going to get to December? Go, wow, nobody died this year. Like, never. It usually doesn't take very long. And then all of a sudden, I'll go, oh, there we go. April or March or whatever it was. It doesn't take very long. And that sucks, man. I wish we can change that.
And I feel like that is a limiting factor for, the sport. If the sport wasn't inherently dangerous, there'd be tens of thousands of more pilots trying to huck it. But there is that little resistance, that there's a little bit of brakes on it. As we grow closer, the stuff is getting safer. People are talking more about how it's safer, and more people are getting involved.
Yeah. Still, man, my buddy was just kiting out there. I already told you that one, but kiting out there in March, not even summertime, got picked up like 30 feet and slammed unconscious for 15 seconds. I thought he was gone. And he's one of the better guys out here. He's really good. But he's over there just kiting with no brakes in his hands, just kind of playing with the risers and everything. And just whoop, bam, everybody goes running over. He's not moving. He was actually totally fine, rocked his noodle a little bit, had a concussion, and didn't feel right for a few weeks. Like, finally woke up, like, okay, I'm normal again. But I thought he was gone. And he was not trying to fly. He's just standing on the ground.
Eesh.
Yeah. It keeps happening. I've been talking about it forever. I know I sound horrible. I sound like super negative Nancy, but it keeps happening.
Well, really, you think about it, the statistics. I mean, it is a very small community. And the odds, like, for example, the 5 years, 4 years that we've been doing the show and stuff, I mean, I was like, the odds of knowing somebody that's going to pass in this sport is very substantial,
Yeah.
I mean, and you can't control every situation. You could do your best to manage every situation, but you can't control every single situation. And sometimes it gets the better of us,
You just don't know what you don't know. And you can't even really learn that lesson until you kind of do it yourself. My driving analogy with the clutch and the gas, I tell you that one. If you're a really good listener and I explain the clutch and the gas and you're learning to drive and the RPMs and the sounds and the smells and the taste and everything, and you're a really good listener, you might have the perfect first shift. Did you master the skill? No, you literally need to screw it up. You have to uphill, down, whatever, like
Stall.
All the different iterations, right? You'll just have to kind of learn and go, that's what he means. And that sucks. Like,
that's a great analogy.
I wish we could. So then I say, hey, how come 16-year-old male driving insurance is so expensive? I tell you that one. Because he's 16 years old. Nothing the mom or dad can say. You want to say my little Johnny's different. He's really mature for his age. And they're like, yeah, that would be $300. So as much as you wish you could download all your experience, you want to say, yo, I flew into this rotor one time. In fact, my very good friend, he comes to me and he goes, wow, it's amazing how far back behind regionals I can fly without hitting the rotor. And I was like, that sounds like a really scary kind of observation, like pushing. I was way back there. It was still lifting. It's okay. Not within a week, man. He lands back behind there, goes down kind of the lee side, And he got a little upset, and I love this guy to death. And you know, really good highs and really low lows. But he says, you know, he's kind of crying, like, I can't believe nobody came back there to help me. And I'm like, we're in the brush, it's like overhead, you know, you're fine. But I said, you know why you landed back there? He goes, why? And I go, because you were flying back there.
Yeah.
you didn't fly back there, you can't land back there.
Yeah.
But I go, man, just a week ago, you were like, it's amazing how low I can get back in there without hitting the rotor. Then you land and you're surprised. Like, man, I say I'm no Nostradamus, but I kind of saw this coming.
Saw that coming.
I can often see the future. So yeah, as much as we want to warn you, it almost becomes this big boogeyman that you don't really know until it happens to you. And then you go, oh, I do need to change my oil from time to time or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and then again, you also got to consider too, with our ages, usually, you know, we will know somebody that it's going to pass, regardless of whether it's the sport or anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Oh, that too.
Statistically.
It's an older, you were saying how many people over 50? I have a very older community out here. And so then I find people that have all sorts of, you know, health issues and diabetes and everything. How long was it that you were in the sport before you heard of somebody dying paragliding? Maybe somebody you even knew, but even outside of that, right?
Yeah.
I was barely,
in.
barely started flying. And then this guy died. I said, man, is that the guy that I knew? That's the guy you knew. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, I just barely started. So there's a part of me that's like, I'm glad I didn't learn in the 70s. But at the same time, I'm still losing my friends.
Yeah. It still happens.
It doesn't have to be that way.
This show is brought to you by Nebraska PPG. Josh Bowen runs a school in Nebraska. If you're interested in some top-notch training, sign up with Josh and his team today. There's a link in the description. Also, the show is brought to you by iFly Indiana Powered Paragliding. Their website is iflyindiana.com. Kevin and his team will get your feet off the ground. Show is also brought to you by Lone Star Paramotor. If you're in the Lone Star state of Texas, you can reach out to Ron Turan and his team for world-class training. Their website is lonestarparamotor.com. Also, the show is brought to you by Torrey Pines Glider Port. If you want to learn how to free fly in the most beautiful place in the United States, arguably, reach out to Max Marion or any one of the guys at flytorrey.com. That's FLYTORREY.com. Craig Taylor, do you want to mention our friends over at Resurgence PPG?
I would love to. Resurgence PPG is a 501c3 nonprofit for veterans by veterans. Please do what you can to support those guys. Every little bit helps. Smile.amazon.com if you can't donate directly.
Yeah, smile.amazon.com is a way that you can literally donate without, it's not taking your money. It's Amazon giving or whatever you bought. And just take your time when you go into Smile, their little thing. They'll give you a whole bunch of options, and it's a bunch of stuff. They're all great causes, but the best cause is literally Resurgence PPG. And so you have to type that in, and you type in Resurgence PPG. It'll pop up. It'll populate. And it'll say, "Is this where you want to donate your Smile money?" Yes. Click yes, and boom goes the dynamite. You're cooking with Crisco. So thank you. I really appreciate everybody, your feedback, your questions. I didn't get to all the questions.
For Dave Ruff, I actually had tubes in my ears 3 times as a kid. I was supposed to go the 4th time. I have a medical hearing issue, so I'm sorry if I raised my voice a little on that. It's totally not the issue. It's my delivery and passion, but I'm going to blame it on my ears. Just so you know.
I had the same thing when I was a kid, and I still have ear issues.
Yeah, I still can't hear all that well, but I can see pretty well.
I didn't even know this until my dad told me. He was like, "Yeah, when you're a baby, you have this gnarly fever. We're going to put a tube in your ear." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I went 3 times. I remember I went to the little hearing mobile they brought to school, and they file everybody in, and you sit at your little thing, and you wear, and you push the button when you hear the tone. So I'm sitting in there, and they're all getting organized, and the lady walks around or whatever, and then they usher everybody off of the bus. I'm like, man, what happened? You know, what's up? They came out like, why didn't you push a button? And I'm like, I didn't know we started. I didn't hear anything.
Oh, no.
Like,
huh?
Front of the class. Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to hear beep, boop, boop, beep.
I guess when I was really young, I could see through the double-sided glass. I could see the lady hit the switchboard, so I would like shake the little teddy bear. But I wasn't hearing. I just saw the lady push the button, so like I totally fronted it as like a toddler. Yeah.
He's all memorizing eye charts and stuff. You know,
Looking
like
assistant.
covering his eyes.
Yeah,
Calling the lines by number.
That's a good idea.
The bottom line, made in Taiwan.
You're gonna need that in for the DMV when you get older. Just memorize that bad boy. Yeah. Well, we're going to go to the after show. Thank you so much. If you want to be a part of the after show and you're one of the Patreon supporters, PayPal supporters, or a super chatter, you're welcome to join us. Just drop your email in the chat. We will send you an invitation. We're not going to hold Steve hostage, but he's always, so far he's 4 for 4 and staying for the after show for at least 5 minutes. So jump on. We'll have a great conversation after show. And thank you again, Stephen Nowak. Always an absolute ringer. Every time you come on the show, really appreciate it. And thank you so much for agreeing on, and especially on short notice. I think I gave you like 4 days.
Anytime.
Yeah. Thank you. And also Yana, thank you for allowing him, letting him come
Outside
on.
A's from the canopy.
Yeah. That's a good one, man. I'm stoked for that, bro. I'm
They'll
serious.
take home. If you don't
Yeah.
already know. Hopefully you don't need it.
Yeah. But I help the other guys, man. I'm a community servant. I like to help the other guys, other pilots on the, I feel like I have to protect my site too. That's
Why we're here. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. All right. We're going to go to the after show. Thanks for watching. If I don't see you guys in the air,